Artificial intelligence is quickly integrating into every aspect of our lives, and we are not always aware when we are engaging with it. But AI's influence on education will be clear in the coming years as these systems ease into classrooms everywhere. We have Mr. N.P. Harris, founder CEO of Baptra, to illuminate us with the future of AI in schooling.
Hi all, thank you Aarti. Hope if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if any questions are there, please talk to me because I'm just looking at this presentation and seeing the chat or other videos. Okay. Thank you. So we like Maddie was talking about getting a job in coding and AI. So not with the new economy situation and all, like as Maddie rightly said, we really believe that Etanglas and Gusti is going to be, Etanglas and coding and AI is going to be the future. Because I'm in London and here no companies ask what is your education qualification. They just ask you like whether you have a visa to work here. That's one thing, and then if you are legally able to work here, they will give you a task. If you are able to do it, then you have a job. Yes. Okay. So I will start my presentation with a statement by Franklin D. Roosevelt. We may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future. So that should be, as a school, that should be our motive. We should prepare our children for the future, because when they come out of their school or college, we are talking about 10-15 years of time. And then the content of this particular presentation, I'll be just touching upon what's the future of technology. And I know most of you will be knowing about what is AI encoding, but I'll just touch upon what is AI encoding and why should our children learn AI encoding from a young age, and then how can we transform the school with coding and AI. So technology in future, it's not future actually. Like now itself, it means that coding or programming, basically coding and programming are the same thing. But some people say that there's a difference, but it's the same thing in one way. And then we have artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, augmented reality and virtual reality. We know that all the companies across the globe are actually rolling out 5G, and with the for example, we all have 4G. So people didn't realize that with 4G how much it is going to change our lives. We started watching YouTube videos. We went online or cloud when the 4G was evolved. So in the same way, when we have 5G set up all over the world, we will have augmented reality and virtual reality. Every system, everything that you see will have a story will have a story embedded with an augmented reality or a virtual reality. Okay, we are yet to see that now. When we go to the malls, we see that we apply, we have rides in just one. You will apply you'll apply the goggles, and then you will get into the virtual reality world. So, but that will become very common. It may be applicable in your phone, and things like that will come with the rolling out of 5G in all the countries. And then again, the main topic, artificial intelligence and coding. So what is artificial intelligence? It's like, we can see, right? We can see, we can hear, we can sense all these things. The Internet of Senses is not yet, the research is going on Internet of Senses, but, when we see it, these kind of things, we have, that is human intelligence. We are able to see something and we are able to recognize that it is something. So this kind of intelligence, if a computer is able to do, that is when we say that the computer or a machine is intelligent. Okay, you may be thinking that hearing, is it a very big thing? Yes, it is a very big thing, because everybody, like whom you talk to, they speak one or whatever language they have in different ways. So for a machine to understand something which is unique, it's very, very difficult, because they have to identify the pattern. We are actually identifying with patterns only. For example, if you see a chair, you understand it's a chair even if you're seeing it for your first time, because you have a capacity in your brain to understand patterns. Okay, when the machine is able to do that, that's when we say that the machines have intelligence. And then what are the examples of AI? Now we are talking about actually disconnected AI. I know, AI and mobile, all these things are not actually disconnected, because most of us take our mobile phones also into our bathrooms also. When you sleep, you have your mobile next to you. So it is not very disconnected, but AI is currently disconnected, but soon it will actually, will become a cyborg. See, we don't think that this is all myth. It's not going to come up. It is going to come up because we have people living with roads in their legs. For example, your leg is broken, so you probably have a steel rod in your leg. So like that, AI also will come into your body. And I was talking about the disconnected one, what's the disconnect from our body? That's driverless cars. You are I was reading a news about Elon Musk. There is a car without steering. So that's the driverless cars that we're looking at. And then Sophia is a humanoid. I mean, it's not a humanoid, it's a robot that has got citizenship. You have a robot having the same rights as a human citizen. And then Siri, a lot of people know like Siri, and or Alexa. Alexa, you call Alexa, what's the temperature? So it's a simple thing that happens every time. So basically, all these things actually save a lot of time. And then Google Maps. I'm pretty sure that most of you would have used Google Maps. So the behind the scenes of Google Maps, it is running an AI algorithm. And then coding. So everybody, like Maddie was talking about coding, everybody talks about coding nowadays. Okay, what is coding? Coding is the process of communicating with the computer. See, I'm able to communicate with you in English because I know English. It's the same way. Like if you want to communicate with a computer, you have to understand coding. So you need to understand what is communicating with the computer. See, if you go to shop to buy a computer or a mobile phone, like the CEO of Skill Council is talking about having a mobile phone it's a computer only, and it's not the mobile actually, it's a computer. So the difference is that you buy it and you use it. But if you know coding, you can build whatever you're using. For example, now we are talking in Zoom or Google Meet, you use Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all these things, everything, whatever you see in computers is built using coding. So that is the language. So what exactly it is doing? You use coding to talk to a computer or a mobile phone and then get a desired output. And for that, see, the way we have different languages, we have C, Java, Python, JavaScript, C++. These are examples of coding languages. And then I would say like there are a lot of discussions happening. Whether they should learn or children should learn AI and coding from young age or not. So I'll just touch upon some of the things. What are the benefits of doing that particular thing? First of all, you cannot skip it because it's an academic requirement. For example, even if you hate mathematics or even if you hate English, you cannot pass 10th degree or whatever degree that you have without understanding those particular things. Like that, coding and AI has become part of the syllabus, so as part of new education policy, and you have to understand it for you to complete your academics. And then specifically for the CBSE schools, AI and coding is introduced as skill subject also for grade 6, 7, 8, 10, 9 and 10. So again, it's part of the academic requirement. And then another thing is future skill requirement. Okay, if you take if you look at your United Kingdom or US, Canada, anywhere, if you want to migrate, the best bet is to learn coding. Because as Maddie was mentioning in his speech, 90% of codes are written in English, and you have since you are in India or maybe in UAE, you have the advantage that you learn English from your childhood. So you already have English. Now the only thing that you need is the coding skills. So if you learn coding, then it is a high skill job, and then you can easily migrate it. It is if you want to migrate to any of these countries, either you have to be a nurse or maybe in the medical industry or in the coding or IT industry. Okay, so that's the idea. So the best part about coding or AI is that whatever you're doing, the same thing you can do here. For example, if you're a doctor and if you're trying to migrate to United Kingdom, you have to write an exam here and pass, which is a very tough exam. But if you're a coder in India, you do the same thing in UK and you can directly get a job here. Okay, and then another thing is more secure usage of computers and internet, especially for girls. Understanding these systems will actually help you to use this internet and other things in a more secured way. And then computers are everywhere, in car, aeroplane, TV, refrigerator. You would have heard about Android TV now. Soon, like in the US and all, it is launched refrigerators with Android phone. What they will do is it is adding a value, because most of you, I don't know how many couples are here. I mean, how many married people are here. They will know that, you know, when you go and buy, some groceries, maybe they'll forget milk. But you know what happens if you have an Android fridge? Then the fridge will itself give order. You know, by the time you reach there, the order would have been ready. So these kind of things. I mean, all these things will become very common. Okay. And then if you are an entrepreneur, again, you know, you have to understand the technology. Why? Because the moment you talk about any product, it will involve tracking of data, then monitoring and improve. So all these things, it's again, you know, in a engineering way, if you talk about what is coding, it is all about manipulating data or storing and, you know, processing the data. So anything that you work on it will involve all these things, and then it will come to coding and artificial intelligence. And then if you're creative, like, you know, you have to be creative. You know, we talk about creativity, and also if you want to build something on your own, then learning coding will help you, because there are students who have built Android application, other applications. Then you can create robot, and then you can create documentaries on things, social media and cyber safety. All these things, you know, whatever you want to learn, it will be easier if you learn coding. And one more thing is design thinking, as Maddie mentioned in his speech. And then with all these things, what is the advantage for the school? Okay, I'm now talking about the school. So the main advantage the school will have is we can transform that particular school into a technology school. Okay, that means how you are preparing your kids for the future. All these things you can use it as a marketing tool. Also, like, students who are really interested, and most of the students are interested, they will actually join a school where all these trainings are given. And this is my tweet in 2018. I was, dreaming of a programming medium school. So I'm not sure. A lot of people may not be know what's an English medium school, because most of us are learning in English medium now. But you know, I studied in a Malayalam school. So in my childhood, we talked about English medium school a lot. Okay. So the thing is that whether you learn your mathematics or science using your mother tongue or English is the question. That is the English medium when you say, okay. So what we are thinking is a programming medium school. That means you learn your mathematics, science and other subjects through programming. So you might think that, okay, is it possible to do that, because you have to learn programming? But to my surprise, what happens in this case is I would like to talk about the CBSE circular that came into 2020. That is, they are planning to introduce artificial intelligence across all the subjects. Okay, so we were thinking about coding in all the subjects, but now the CBSE has gone to the next stage, where they're talking about artificial intelligence, in all the subjects. So how does it relate? How do you relate English and mathematics and science to or what is the plan of CBSE that they have? I'll just talk about integrated education. They have two perspectives. One thing is that you take a topic from the subject that easily lends itself to any of the AI concepts. For example, data collection is a familiar task in mathematics, and if you come to the AI, it is data acquisition. Or for example, physics. We need to teach the student the frequency, amplitude, velocity of a wave, let's say. Okay, then that particular thing, the AI related concept is infinite drum machine. So what they are trying to do is that in whatever you learn in your physics or your science subject, they're trying to relate it to the AI and then teach. So then they will understand that, okay, I'm not learning it just for the sake of learning it. A lot of people have this doubt, right? Why am I learning all this physics and mathematics in the schools? Maddie was talking about M1 and M2 in computer science. Even I'm an engineer, so by degree. So there we learned about this Fourier series and a lot of things. I was wondering, like, where am I going to use all these things? Okay, at that time. But when the AI, with the advancement of the computers, then we realized that, okay, all these things have actual applications. And those who are Malayalis, you would have seen the movie Spadigam, and it talks about Dunyavil Avaro Spandanangalum Nadakkunnu mathematics. And actually, it is true. There are a lot of mathematical equations that is, deciding the way we are living. So these things actually, the moment we talk about AI, all these things will actually come into picture. So, and I'm very happy that CBSE is actually pushing these concepts in the, at least in 6th grade now. But we are actually teaching in grade 2, okay? And then the next perspective is you take one topic and then all the teachers will talk about everything in the AI. For example, we want to improvement in food resources. That's the topic. So the English teacher will create a story using a Google Story Speaker, a discussion with the population of rice in India, like farmed areas. How do we actually increase the farming and this kind of things. And then in the science we talk about computer vision, like how we yield foods. Like you can send a drone to a field and say that this year this is the yield that we are expecting. We're talking about like acres of land, okay, where the farming is happening. So that will help in the computer vision. And then in geography, like you have a discussion where climate will impact the grain production and things like that. In mathematics, is like, okay, how much we have in this more than 1 billion people. So how much food will be required to serve these things. So all this planning, everything. So the whole point is that there are two approaches. Again, I will just repeat once again for making it very clear. One is you take a topic in your subject and then relate to the AI concept, or take a topic and relate to all the subjects. These are the two perspectives that the CBSE is trying to push in the education. And then is it a good approach? Unfortunately, you have no choice if you're a CBSE school. You have to learn it because it will be part of your curriculum. And then I would say that it's a good approach because the students will understand that how AI is transforming their life from childhood, and thinking is developed, and the thinking kind of thinking is developed, that how technology can make your life easier and how you can do more things with less time. And then what is the limitation? That's the tagline of CyberSquare actually. Again, you are becoming a user of technology, not a creator of technology. So what is our approach? Our approach is we want the students to change from users of technology to creators of technology. And then how do we define this particular path in the schools wherever we are implementing? So from grade 1 we start with digital literacy, coding and ICT. So digital literacy is basically how you use computers and then how you search online. All those things are kind of be called as digital literacy. But this actually comes, everybody is having this digital literacy now because you are born into a laptop or a computer world. And then we talk about ICT, using this Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel and all these things. That is the ICT thing. And then the coding part, starts from grade 1, and when you move towards the grade 10, it all becomes coding and artificial intelligence. So that's what I wanted to discuss. So now, any questions are there? You can ask me. Anybody any questions about learning coding or AI? It can be from a college also, okay? Because it's just that I was handling this topic. But if you have any questions about your career or things that also you can ask.
How come it is useful for the schools? That means how the CyberSquare is going to help for the school. That means are you going to give any training sessions directly to the students or to the faculty? How come it is?
Okay, thank you for the question. So what we do is we work with the schools. We provide textbooks and platform for the teachers to actually teach the students. So we provide training to the existing teachers, and then the teachers will be giving training to the students. But along with that, there will be some students who want to go to the next level in the school itself. So we conduct a digital fest, coding club, all these activities, so that the students are able to, if somebody wants to develop an application in, grade 5, then we will help them. Because it's not that the teachers may not be knowing it, but they will not have enough time. So we have a mechanism where we support the teachers in achieving the good things. Better things in the technology for the students.
Okay, is it through physical or through online? How come you are supporting it?
It will be both actually, right? Because previously we were doing it, physically, but because of the COVID and other things, now everybody knows, even the students know how to learn through, the online method. So we provide it online.
If I want to have some other more information, to whom I can contact?
Which location are you from?
I am from Andhra Pradesh, Nellore.
Okay, so we will give you a number here in the chat, so you can contact us on that number. Deepak, this is a UAE number. We want the Indian
Yeah.
number.
Type in the Indian number also.
Okay. Any other questions?
One more. Is that the syllabus designed from CBSE only, or are you going to design something else?
No, it is in alignment with the CBSE things. So, for example, like if you talk about the AI, because they have some defined syllabuses, right? So
Yeah, that's right.
more of a theoretical thing now because they are just introduced it. So what we do is we teach these things along with the projects. So we have a project-based approach. So whatever is a part of the CBSE, it is also already there, and along with it, we will teach the students to create apps and other things also.
Yeah, actually, last before year itself, it started with AI, and we started with class 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the syllabus, whatever given in that, it's just like a theoretical approach, no project-based approach
Yeah,
is
exactly.
given in that. So actually, I myself am not satisfied with that. So I feel that it can be something practical oriented, so that will be helpful for the kids.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we are doing. We are starting, coding from grade 1 and artificial intelligence from grade 2. So we have a structured approach where by they reach 9 and all, they will actually build the AI projects.
And one more thing regarding this coding, actually we opted for skill education this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, skill education, and we started doing that, but they have given some syllabus in such a way that the Minecraft platforms and some of the Scratch and Code.org, that platforms, and they're asking about the school registration details and something else, and we couldn't do that Minecraft directly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like school details are little confidential, we cannot give in social platforms like that. So we stuck over there actually. How can this software can help us in this? Because we just want to give skill education to the children from this year. In the coding we already started, as if you previously one sir spoke about the HTML5 and all. So we already started with all those basic things. So if we want to go with something advanced, how come you can help us?
So what we have is we have developed a custom platform where you have all these visual coding, everything inbuilt in our platform. So we have a complete solution for that, and what you have to do is we have already shared the numbers. You can contact us and we will give you a detailed presentation on how we are implementing with the schools.
Yeah, sure. Because I just want to know more.
Yeah. So it's a complete solution because we started well before when CBSE was suggesting it. So we have it's a very tested solution, and it has been running successfully in the other schools.